Have you given much thought lately to your brand, to your personal brand? If not, you probably should. It seems to be the current in thing. A few years ago, the focus was on developing mission statements, personal, professional, and corporate. Even St. Peter has a mission statement. It can be found on our website, among other places. But nowadays, everyone seems to be into branding. Maybe it's our way of showing solidarity with cows. But I'm not sure that branding is all that common with cows in an age of microchips and GPS. It may be that brands are taking the place of mission statements since they are usually more concise and thus more relevant in an era in which attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. There seems to be a need to get across who you are and what your organization is about in as few words as possible. And if it can be done with a visual image and no words, all the better. I'm sure that several of you are affiliated with organizations with distinctive logos, brands that are meant to capture at a glance the image that the firm wants to project to the world. On a personal level, I see the phenomenon as I look over resumes that are coming in for our positions we are trying to fill. How's that for getting in a plug for our parish HR needs? In today's job market, it is important to be able to capture someone's attention with just 2 or 3 words that seem to convey the essence, the brand of the applicant. Aside from an individual brand, it can be eye-opening to learn that cities and states have their own distinctive brands. Isn't it great to live in the Queen City of the state of perfection, as Father Devereaux liked to think of North Carolina? If you are still in the process of developing your own brand, have you ever thought about what is distinctive about Catholicism or Christianity? What comes to your mind when you think about what is special in our faith? If you were to ask the people you know who are Jewish, Protestant, Muslims, atheists, or agnostics, what do you think would come to their mind? Perhaps you or they would mention the Pope, or the Rosary, or the Mass, or the sacraments. Of course, these and many other facets of our faith are important, but a brand needs to go both deeper and broader. Judging from our first reading from the Acts of the Apostles, the distinctive feature of the lives of early Christians was hardship. Some people, like St. Paul, wore hardship as a badge of honor. But many people, then and now, steer clear of religion because it may involve sacrifice and hardship. In other eras, a distinctive feature of Catholicism was guilt. I wouldn't be surprised if many of us here today grew up with an unhealthy portion of guilt. If so, I think we may want to change the brand. In our second reading from the book of Revelation, John views the faith community as a new creation, as the heavenly Jerusalem, in which God resides with his people. I don't know about you, but I find this image, this brand, more appealing than hardship and guilt. But we need to ask ourselves how this vision of the church can become reality, how it can become our identifiable brand. You may be happy to hear that the answer lies in our gospel reading, in which Jesus explains what he hopes will be the brand of his disciples. I give you a new commandment: love one another. As I have loved you, so you also should love one another. This is how all will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. Jesus didn't use the word commandment lightly, and at other times he spoke about the need to love even our enemies. But in the gospel passage today, Jesus is talking specifically about the way Christians welcome, support, nurture, and love each other. Their love for one another is to be the brand of his followers. The disciples of Jesus understood this and tried to live it out. As I have come to know you after a 22-year hiatus, I can see that you do too. It is important that new parishioners feel welcomed, and it is essential that all of us demonstrate our love by how we care for one another and for those in our community who are suffering in any way. As St. Augustine put it, love has hands to help others. It has feet to hasten to the poor and needy. It has eyes to see misery and want. It has ears to hear the sighs and sorrows of others. That's what love looks like. I hope you can see in your own life the various ways that love for one another has become your brand. And I hope you will be open to new ways in which God may be calling you to let your love flow deeper and broader. Certainly, it is not always easy to love, or it may be easier to love in the abstract rather than to reach out to the person with whom we never seem to get along. St. John of the Cross had a wonderful remedy for difficult and seemingly loveless situations. He said, "Where there is no love, put love, and you will find love. Where there is no love, put love, and you will find love." Let us pray this week that each of us can remain faithful to carrying out Jesus' command to love one another. In doing so, not only will others know that we are his disciples, but we will also become aware of a new heaven and a new earth, where God will wipe away every tear from our eyes, and where God will make all things new. All it requires is loving one another. How about letting that be our brand?